jams Jennifer's head through the screen.
He embodies a television with the antennas on his head.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So it looks like his chest is the television screen. And so actually this interview that she's watching, it's with it's a Dick Cavett interview interrupted by Freddy Krueger, and Sally Kellerman was originally in the script as the guest, but Dick Cavett was then allowed to pick the person he'd be interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he picked Zsa Zsa Gabor because he thought she was the dumbest person he'd ever met in his life. He thought it would be funny to see her killed by Freddy.
The hanging body out of the television.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's a great image.
Yeah, it is. And also, that's kind of your, like, the first death you can kind of explain away as a suicide.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot explain that away as a suicide because there's no chair under her. And the angle in which she's hanging, there would have been no way for her to jam herself up there. So just a really, like, kind of kitschy fact about this. Robert Englund, who plays the wonderful Freddy Krueger, after just a really long day of shooting on set, he went and took a nap in his trailer, and then when he woke up, because he fell asleep in all of his Freddy makeup, which I don't know how you could do that. I mean, you'd have to be obviously very exhausted. I feel like having all of that on your face would just feel terrible. But he fell asleep and then woke up and looked in the mirror and scared the shit out of himself.
On the subject of stolen gloves, 2 fans snuck onto the set, pretended to be like grips, and then when no one was looking, they stole one of the gloves and ran off set with it.
If I found the opportunity, I probably would too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, so would I. I think we have neglected to mention the super creepy little kids and the nursery rhyme for Freddy Krueger.
Oh my god, yeah. So the original trailer for this was actually the little girls singing Freddy's infamous rhyme, and then Freddy's clawed hand popping out of the popsicle stick house. So that's really cool. So that's really cool that we get more of the Freddy rhyme, but I'll let you say the entire Freddy rhyme.
Of the entire thing?
Oh, the entire thing. Sing the whole thing.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Yep.
3, 4, better lock your door.
Yep.
5, 6, grab your crucifix.
Yep.
7, 8, stay up late.
Yep.
9, 10, never sleep again.
Yep.
Oh, that was good.
Yep.
That was good.
Love Freddy's rhyme.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's creepy as shit.
Everyone knows it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like, you know Jason's music. You know Michael Myers' music. You know the Freddy rhyme. It's just all of your favorite slashers.
And the Elm Street theme is very distinctive, too.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's full-on 80s synth creepy, and I love it.
Yeah.
This movie also has some sweet fucking hair metal, courtesy of Doc M.
Yeah, which in the original VHS release of Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, there was a music video for Dokken at the end of the VHS.
Yeah.
Which is super 80s, man. Fucking rad. You don't get the same viewing experience anymore.
You don't have to adjust the tracking. Hair metal videos are the fucking best. And that strip on top of this Camaro.
Is here I go again on my own. Like a drifter. I was born to walk alone.
Another group is experimenting with group hypnosis to try and all purposely enter the dream state.
I'm sorry, but that little flash of light would really fuck it up for me.
I think it's the light is what's like making you.
I mean, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. I don't know. That light would really shock my eyeballs. Scary Movie Club question. How long would you last?
Well, Nancy tells these guys that they're the last of the Springwood children, or the Elm Street children.
Okay.
So, I'm leaning towards I would probably be dead by this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's assume Jay Bean is of the last of the Elm Street kids. You're in this group. You're not just one of the outside characters who you assume is gonna like be offed pretty quickly.
I feel like I would be equivalent to Philip.
Oh, okay. So you would just be the first kill.
Yeah. So they suddenly realize that they are in a dream state, and that is best exemplified by Will, who is in the wheelchair standing up and saying, "In my dreams, I can walk."
Yeah.
And then in my dreams, I am the wizard master.
So, they originally auditioned Winona Ryder as Kristen, Patricia Arquette's character. But director Chuck Russell thought that Winona Ryder seemed too young for the role.
Their "in my dreams" thing. Each one is so weird.
Yeah.
Will can do magic and walk.
Yeah.
Kristen can do backflips. Kincaid can fucking bend a metal chair into play, like into a pretzel. But then Taryn's like, I have a mohawk and fucking
I'm
razor
gorgeous
blades.
and I'm bad.
I'm beautiful and I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm beautiful and I'm bad.
I like that a mohawk is her idea of beautiful, though.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
It's a pretty intense hawk.
Oh, this is such a...
It's
weird.
gross. Like, tongue scenes in general are gross.
Yeah. There are a lot of tongue things with Freddy, man.
Yeah, he's all about that.
He is. You get a big taste of that in the first one. He tries to lick Nancy through the phone.
From the very beginning, Wes Craven knew that he was going to have Nancy die at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, Nancy dies at the end of the movie. But the original script was very different from what they actually ended up shooting, obviously. The original script that they turned in, they would have needed roughly a $20 million budget. Oof. And they only had about $4.5 million.
Oof.
Yeah, so they had to cut and redo a lot. But Nancy dying was in there from the very first draft.
Yeah. Well, because again, he didn't want... Nancy was supposed to be your final girl. There wasn't supposed to be more Freddy. You know what I mean? Now, what we did see here, there was this sexy nurse scene that had some tongues. Anything with tongues is gross. And the set was flipped so that Rodney Eastman, who plays Joey, the mute one, he was standing up when he appears to be strapped to the bed. And it said that he was spread eagle for so long that he passed out. He compared the experience to a crucifixion.
But he is standing more or less in a crucified position.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, you know. Yeah. On-set fun facts, man, that acting and doing your own stunts is hard as shit. And also, Joey's mute, and so Taryn's character talks about how the reason why he's mute is that Freddy traumatized him. He was actually a debater in high school, but then his first encounter with Freddy traumatized him so much that he won't speak. So you had talked about that they had talked about needing a $20 million budget. One of the reasons why they needed such a big budget for it was because one of the warriors was going to dream up like a transformer type robot to fight Freddy. Dude, come on.
That would have been so fucking 80s.
That would have been so wonderfully 80s. So that whole sequence, like, even made it to, like, storyboard phasing. But, of course, like, only $4 million, so... And it would have been great, too, because this is supposed to be in 1990, so, of course, Transformers is, like, a big deal. So it would have fit in so perfectly for the time, and it's a bummer that it didn't go further.
Yeah, so Chuck Russell, like I said, this is his directorial debut. Because... Debut? Whatever. Words. The script called for a $20 million budget, and they had to change a lot of it to get it down to that $4.5 million. It made for a really kind of tense set, and not really a great set to work on.
I mean, you have actors passing out come on, that's not great.
On Patricia Arquette's first day of filming, they didn't get to her scenes until almost 4 a.m., and by that point, she'd, like, forgotten her lines, and it took her 52 takes, and they ended up just giving her, like, cue cards. Yeah. And she said that Patricia Arquette said it wasn't really a pleasurable experience, and Russell said he probably pushed her way too hard.
Yeah.
Which, if you have people passing out in a crucifix position,
probably maybe let up a little bit, you know.
I don't think Robert Englund has anything negative to say other than, like, hey, I fell asleep and scared myself.
Yeah.
Because he just fucking loves being Freddy Krueger.
He does, yeah. Anytime he gets to put on the hand, he's good.
Mm-hmm. Dude has a massive line at every convention I've ever seen him at.
Dude, come on.
Non-stop. And he's super friendly and gracious.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He's a dude who genuinely fucking loves this character and doing this. And I guarantee it, like, I don't know how old Robert Englund is at this point, but he'll be fucking 90, and if someone's like, hey, you want to put the costume on? He's like, yeah, let's do this shit. So we have now had 2 appearances by the mysterious nun figure. We will come to find out that she is Amanda Krueger. So she was trapped in the mental institution for over a weekend and raped hundreds of times, which is how Freddy Krueger was conceived. And they call him the bastard son of a 100 maniac.
That's also, like, one of the worst backstories for a character.
It's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, they had originally talked about doing the opening of this movie as Freddy. They were going to do kind of like a Freddy backstory of him being born.
The thing that confuses me with the nun
The thing?
is, why is she so cryptic about it? You know, she knows that these kids are dying, and she doesn't go up to Dr. Neal and be like, listen, here's exactly what you need to do. She hints around it. And it's so fucking weird. Like, dude, if you know that this is going to handle the problem, why not just fucking say, here's how you handle the problem.
Yeah.
So now Freddie has sent a message to Nancy.
Directly, yeah.
On
the chest of Joey, who is in a coma.
And she writes, come get him, bitch. Or he writes, come and get
him, bitch.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Words are hard.
She's also kind of a stone cold bitch, too.
Yeah. The
other doctor.
Head doctor.
Yeah, head doctor.
I'm not even going to learn her name because she's such a bitch.
She is a humongous bitch.
Yeah. It goes back to these places not being fit for healing.
Correct. They're just fit for abuse.
Which Dr. Neal and Nancy are both definitely there to help.
Yes.
And I think head bitch nurse doctor probably was also... Yes, I said head bitch nurse doctor.
No, I know what you said.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was basking in it for a minute.
She may have at one point been someone who was there for healing.
When she first started. Yeah.
But jaded at this point.
Yeah.
These movies aren't ones you typically think... you don't think of restraint in these movies.
Yeah.
Because they go kind of all out. In the beginning scene where Kristen is running through the house and she is carrying the little girl.
Yes.
They actually had made a little girl corpse effect.
Yeah, but they decided not to use it.
Yeah, because it was so unnerving.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting line that they decided not to cross.
Right. They ended up using a skeleton instead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's really good call.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Good call.
So Nancy and Dr. Neal have gone to the source of the issue with Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
One of the sources, and that is Nancy's dad.
Yes.
Who is the sheriff.
Yes.
And they're asking what they did with Fred's body.
Yes.
Keep in mind that he has now crawled into a bottle.
Yes.
Because he has a shot in one hand and a beer sitting right next to him.
Yeah. And he has no interest in helping Nancy whatsoever. And he is absolutely, kind of just...
He's disconnected from the world.
He's disconnected, but he also, there's my little girl, just really kind of...
You can tell that she has purposely distanced herself from him, and that it has been a long time since they've seen each other.
Yeah, and he says, it was nice seeing you again, my princess, or something along those lines, and it's very gross. It's gross because it's just demeaning.
I see it from both sides. I see him being sad that his daughter has separated herself from him and he doesn't understand it because as far as he knows, the whole Fred Krueger thing isn't real, and her mom is dead. So he lost both a daughter and a wife. So he is so broken at this point because he doesn't necessarily know why his daughter isn't speaking to him.
Ooh, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you hardcore. I think he's just unaccepting. I think he knows Fred Krueger is real. I think he came to terms with that, at the end of the first one. I think he is drinking himself to forget it. And I think anything that is brought up about it, he wants to shut down because you're right, he wants no part in it.
Yeah.
I think he's mad that his daughter wants to keep digging into it, so he doesn't want to help her because he doesn't want it to be real. So he has put himself in a bottle to convince himself that it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my challenge to that. That's how I've seen Nancy's father in this.
All right. It's an accepting challenge. I still see sadness.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I will. They went through a lot, you know. It's a lot to look back on and be sad about.
The concept of hallowed ground being the way to beat Freddy is really interesting to me. Just because it implies the existence of a god in this world, but it also implies the existence of legit fucking evil.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because it's introducing that